Sarah and her daughter Alyssa just moved into a new house by the lake beside a house that was abandoned due to a double homicide. It was rumored that a couple was killed by their daughter, who was still missing. Ryan, the son of the family, however, still lived in the abandoned house. One day, Alyssa went to a party at her new schoolmate's house, Tyler. He made a pass at her, and she got angry and left the party angrily. Walking home alone in the dark night, Ryan stopped to give her a ride, but she refused. Soon, the rain started to fall heavily, and she had no choice but to get into the car. He lived in the house where the double homicide occurred, which was his parents' house before they were killed. Alyssa and Ryan talked for a while before he dropped her off at her house. Ryan had a girl locked up in his basement. He would drug her and keep her there as a replacement for his dead sister, Carrion. Once, the girl in the basement tried to escape because Ryan forgot to lock the door, but he ran after her and caught her. One night, Alyssa's mother, Sarah, invited Ryan to the house to Alyssa's surprise because her mother was strongly against her getting close to him. They had dinner together amid some very uncomfortable discussion. Sarah then strongly warned Ryan that he should never be alone with her daughter Alyssa. Ryan agreed and left hurriedly. Alyssa did not take it very well and still insisted on hanging with Ryan despite her mother's warning. Ryan and Alyssa took a stroll into the forest, where they shared a kiss. He took her home to continue what they started. She excused herself to go to the restroom, and while she was there, the girl in the basement escaped again. When Ryan saw this, he quickly pushed Alyssa out of the house and shut the door. He then ran after the girl and caught her. As she was struggling, he held her firmly and broke her neck, killing her. Sad, he carried her and put her in the trunk of his car and drove off into the forest to dump her body. He then went out to find another girl to replace her. The next day, he called the already troubled Alyssa, requesting to see her, and she invited him to her school musical show. When Ryan got there, the students trashed his car and started beating him up, but he fought back and broke Tyler's leg before running off. The boys went after him, and Alyssa found his keys on the floor and rushed over to his house, but before she got there, the boys had set the house on fire. She rushed into the house and tried to stop the fire, which she did with much effort. Her mother called to confirm if she was at home because Tyler had just been admitted to the hospital, and Alyssa lied that she was at home. Still at Ryan's house, Alyssa came across an empty box of tampons and some medical supplies in Ryan's trash. Smelling something fishy, Alyssa found her way to the basement where the girl was locked in. As she entered the room, the girl attacked her, but Ryan came in and held the girl down, ordering Alyssa to go out. Ryan begged her not to tell anyone what she saw, and she agreed, but Ryan did not believe her, so he hit her head and tied her up. Ryan told her that he had mistakenly killed his sister, Carrion, when they were kids. Alyssa then asked who killed his parents if Carrion had died much earlier, but he did not reply. He took the other girl out and kept Alyssa there as her replacement. The detective came and knocked on the door, and Ryan went out to meet him. The detective asked if he had seen Alyssa, but Ryan lied, saying he last saw her at the school show. The detective then told him to come to the station the next morning because of the issue with Tyler's broken leg, and he promised to. The detective then went out, but he was still not satisfied. He called Alyssa's phone and heard it ringing in Ryan's house, so he went in search of her quietly. But Ryan was prepared, and he pushed the detective to the ground and stabbed him several times, blaming him for helping his parents cover his sister's murder, knowing fully well that they were torturing him because they blamed him for her death and hence he had to stop them. After killing the detective, he went to check on Alyssa, who had already broken free. As he entered the room, she pushed him in and locked the door before running out. Before she could drive off, he caught her and dragged her back into the house, locking her in the trunk of his car with the now dead girl. Alyssa soon woke up and saw herself face to face with the dead girl's remains. She pushed the seat of the car with her legs and struggled to get out. Alyssa's now very worried mother pulled up at Ryan's house and rang the doorbell, calling out her name. Ryan came out and claimed that Alyssa was not there, but then her mom heard her shouting from inside and rushed in. But before she could get the door opened, Ryan stabbed her. Alyssa, who had now escaped from the trunk, watched Ryan carry her unconscious mother. When Ryan noticed that she had escaped, he ran after her, but she shot at him with the detective's gun and missed. Ryan hid and turned off the light. Alyssa was struggling to put on the torch that she was holding when Ryan came at her, but she pulled the trigger and shot him 3 times, leaving him unconscious. She turned on the light and tried to collect the key from his pocket. but he suddenly woke up and held her hands, trying to stab her. But her mother, who was now awake, quickly hit him with a wooden tool, and he fell unconscious. Seeing this, they both ran off hurriedly.